Welcome to the second part of our farm tour. And if you really haven't watched the first very interesting part, we're going to leave the link on the description. Please go and watch it. It's very interesting. So today we're going to do the second one, and it's another part of our farm because we have two sections of our farm. Remember, we actually have three. We have where we put the poultry. We have this one with the vegetables and sugarcane and all that, and the fruits. And then we have another one where we put like corn. We have very good and healthy looking arrowroots and cassava. You really want to see that. Let's get into it. So and I promised you that you're going to see very good cassava. Look at this. This cassava been here for several months. I think it's over 5 months. But they also went through the February period that was very dry, but they survived. And that's why I really believe cassava is it's called what in Africa? Drought resistant plant. I believe that. They're actually doing very well. And the first time you're planting cassava over here, we didn't know they're going to do very well. Why we decided to plant them is that first water was running here very much, a lot of water running. When the rains fall, water runs down like this. So we thought we didn't have any other crop to plant that could prevent the water from running. And we had a lot of cassava. So we decided just to plant the whole row. And so not only here, we have this one, another one, just 50 meters from here. I'm going to show you. No, about 50 feet from here. I'm going to show you that. But it's doing very well. So being the first time we planted cassava, we're not sure after how long they're supposed to be ready. I read somewhere it's between 9 to 12 months. So these are not yet at 9 months, but they're looking very tall. Actually, some of them are taller than me, as you can see. So, and I also don't know like how cassava is managed properly. I've tried to do my research online, but I would like to engage anyone. Yeah, any of our viewers who comes from a cassava growing region or knows about cassava or actually does cassava growing, please advise us. What are you supposed to do at this point? Are you supposed to do thinning, like we remove some of the excess branches from here so that most of the energy is takes to the cassava itself to grow, or are you supposed to leave it there like this until harvest time? And how do you tell it's they're ready for harvesting? Do you actually have to come and dig and see whether they're there, or there's a certain period, or there's a sign you can see there? I'm going to show you some of them that actually they flowered. They actually have flowers. Is that a sign that they're ready for harvesting? Please let us know in the comment section. As I see, they're doing very well. Uh, there could be more than what? Maybe 100 plants, maybe 50 over here and 50 on the other row. And you're actually looking forward to harvesting this cassava because you're thinking we can try things like cassava chips and also make cassava flour and use it for mixed with other things. So you can see we use the cassava also as a boundary between our different sections of the farm. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So use it as a boundary that. And I'm not sure if they can come close and see how big the stems are. Yeah, you can see the cassava stems. You can see how they're looking. Yeah, that's why you want to know whether they're ready for harvesting or there's something that tells you they're ready to you need to look out for, so you know whether they're ready for harvesting. But yeah, they've done very well. And I've got people coming to me and asking me where I got the seedlings for the cassava, which means people have got an interest to grow cassava locally. And people don't do this. They don't grow cassava over here. And so it's a good thing for us if we can have many people growing this crop over here. And I think it's a very healthy crop to have. And it's also an option to corn or to maize that people usually consume. I think cassava is drought resistant, and maybe if someone has a mix of both maize and cassava, when there's drought, you can actually use the cassava, and vice versa when it's raining. Yeah, so here is our next cassava lot again. I've shown you the first one that are quite big. This was a one planted later on, a few weeks after the one I've just shown you. Now speaking about flowering, you can see this one here has flowers, and then it has I saw a pod over here, looks like a fruit. Then you can see here, I don't know what this is. So yeah, what you're trying to understand is, does this mean these cassavas are ready for harvesting, or what do the flowering mean? Or what are these flowers used for? Are they going to bear seeds at the end of it all? Can be planted? We're not sure. We'd really like to know from people who have actually have experience with cassava. And just let you know how we consume cassava over here, how we'll be consuming cassava over here. Normally, we take porridge, and our porridge is mixed with, we mix millet, finger millet, cassava, groundnuts, simsim, and amaranth, and then it's ground together in a portion mill. That's what we use to make porridge. So one of the ways we're going to use this cassava is as flour for porridge, and then as potato crisps, and we don't know any other way we're going to use them. So we're actually looking forward to those ones first of all. Is there a way you use cassava in your area? Some people told us that you can eat cassava leaves. We're not ready to experiment that. We're not ready to experiment that, but give us the recipe. Maybe we'll try it. Yeah, now that we've shown you a beautiful cassava, let me take you to the next crop that we've also been harvesting for the last like 1 year or so. And in this area of ours, I think we are the only people who actually grow it in plenty. And it's also a surprise crop for us because it's been doing very well and it's a delicacy. Yeah, now we are here and you can see the beautiful arrowroots. In this place, we've harvested arrowroots from here once, and this will be the second time we are going to harvest them. And you can actually see arrowroots are it's not near a river, it's not in a swampy place, but they are doing very well. And if you watch our previous videos, you can see how many arrowroots we actually harvest from this area. And the good thing with arrowroots is that, let me just show you something quickly. Once you plant one seedling, as it matures, it produces others around it. So you can see like this one, we have the main one here, and then you can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, from just one of them. So once you plant arrowroots in a nice place, fertile place, you're going to harvest arrowroots from there forever, as long as you take good care of them. And also, once you pull out, once you harvest like this arrowroot here, we just take the section we're going to eat, and whatever remains, we put it back in the ground again and give it another arrow for the next season. So these are some very good crop to grow. And I believe it's also like, it's sort of drought resistant in this area, because what happens is that even in February when it was so dry, there was no rain for almost, I think, a month and a week or so. And the sun here is very hot when there's no rain. But these things survived. Some of them, their leaves shriveled, but after the rains came, they came back again. So these are also a good crop to grow. It doesn't have to grow next to a river or in a swampy place. It can actually do well just where there's enough water and good soil. Yeah, so another crop that we planted this season was maize, and we have different sections where we planted our maize. Now on this, I want to speak first about this particular part where we are. And this is one of the challenges of being an organic farmer, especially when you don't have enough compost, and also when the soil that you're using previously was used differently as to what you expected it to be used. You can see surrounding our maize, and ours is the yellow one you can see over here, but you can see surrounding it, everyone, the maize is doing very well. But that maize has been put commercial fertilizers, what you call, is it NPK and whatever, all those fertilizers. So ours is surviving by, let me say, the grace of God for now. But this section of the farm, last season we harvested quite a bit of maize and a lot of beans from here. But this time, for a whole full month in February, I think from the beginning of February, we planted the maize in January because it rained. And then February, we had a very dry month. For a whole month and a week into March, there was no rain at all. So most of the beans actually died off. There are no beans here completely. Or if they are, they just have one pod, or they have nothing. They have not borne any fruit. And the maize, you can see, has also been attacked by these, I think they are worms. I'm not sure. I think they are worms. You can see, eating some of the leaves. This is even worse, you can see. So that is, yeah. But we have our own policy and our own belief. We don't use any commercial fertilizer or insecticide or pesticide on that. And currently, as we don't have enough compost, we are just going to harvest whatever we can from here. So whatever grows, whatever matures, we'll harvest. And if you have some of these stems left, we're going to use them as goat feed. because that's, in a couple of weeks, in a few weeks, we're going to have goats on the farm. So we'll dry them again and feed them to the goats. So yeah, we don't panic at all. We're not panicking because we've harvested from this farm before, and this time it was just unlucky. The drought, February drought, and then not having enough compost. However, on this other part of the farm, which is here, the maize is doing better. The maize is doing better over here, and just like the section I've shown you, we don't have compost, so we not put any manure over here. But again, I think there's some understanding we needed to have done. I've just shown you the arrow roots where they are, and I believe in the lower section where we put the maize, we should have put more arrow roots. They would have actually done better than the maize. That's what I believe. So on this section, the maize is doing much better. Some of it was already flowered. Some of the stock, I don't know what they're called stalks. I'll show you another place where they already have corn on them. So, and this also was affected by the drought in February. So we'll not harvest as much maize this season as we did last season. And this time also we planted both the white and the yellow maize. So however, on this section, the maize is doing quite better than the past section I've shown you. And we believe we're going to harvest some maize from here. Beans didn't do well either, not at all. And if we go through, if you walk through the farm, as you can see, some places you'll find beans, but you can see like this one only has one pod. And other plants, like this one has bean plant, but there's no fruit at all, even that one. So for this season, I think we'll harvest very little beans, if any. However, these are across many people over here. There are some who are going to harvest, but most of them will not harvest because during the dry period, most of the beans just dried off. I'm just going to walk through and show you some of the inconsistencies that is there. Because like here you come, you get here, you see this maize stalk is very short and the neighbor is already bearing fruit. And that's what I'm saying. For you to do organic farming for maize, I think you need to have a lot of compost, and also you need to time the rains properly, because I think this is a result of the rains this season that happened. But as I said, we're not going to change our policy. We'll always do organic maize farming. Now we are gathering a lot of compost, so the next season I think we'll plant with compost. I'm sure it's going to do better than it's done now. And I'm actually seeing them on this upper part. There are more bean plants than the lower part. Just walk with me. So yeah, on this part I think we have more bean plants. We'll have some, although not much. You can see like here we have several pods. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I can see another one here with it's not looking very strong. 1, 2, not very healthy. And this one, yeah, I don't think we'll have much beans for this season. I don't think we'll have much beans for this season, but that's okay. As a farmer, these things do happen because some crops do well, some crops don't do well. The next season, some crops do better than the others. That's life. That is farming. That's organic farming. So yeah, we have another section here, and you can see currently we have cassava growing here. But previously we had groundnuts over here. We harvested groundnuts and some sweet potatoes. And then we thought, since there's a lot of water running here, the best thing would be to plant cassava on this whole place. And you can see the cassavas, not all of them came out, but there's quite a number that are out here. So that's good. The groundnuts didn't do very well over here, as opposed to the section next to our homestead, which we harvest quite a number of groundnuts. But this time we also planted some sweet potatoes, as you can see. On this section, we also harvested sweet potatoes. We had only had one issue last season. There was a mole here. Forgetting again the name, it's called, someone told us on the video once. But we had a mole here that gopher. Yeah, we had a mole here. It's called a gopher that ate most of the sweet potatoes. And I'm going to show you what happens. Sometimes it digs a hole and just runs through up to the end. And when you come to harvest, almost everything is gone. But since there's a lot of running water over here, sweet potatoes are a good cover crop. So that's why we opted to put them again, and then we can deal with the gopher as time goes. So, and again, the good thing with a farmer, you can't go to the farm without harvesting anything. So today, we believe some of the sweet potatoes you see behind me there are ready. I know they look like they don't have a lot of leaves because during the dry period, someone came and stole the vines to feed to the cow, and we don't know who it was. That's why they're looking like that. So today, let's try and harvest some and see whether there are any ready we can harvest and go and enjoy. So let me show you what our sweet potato enemy does. The gopher does. You can see there's a big hole over here, and it's gone right through the this place we created for the mound where I plant sweet potato. It's gone right through. There's no end to it. So I wanted to harvest something, but let's hope it left something for us. Let's hope it got full and left something for us. So yeah, let's try and harvest some. I know someone mentioned about using pig manure so that the gophers don't attack your plants. But this is an Seventh-day Adventist region. We're not Adventists, but this is a region for Adventists. And finding pigs is as rare as I don't know what to say. So we just have to use our goat manure and our chicken and rabbit manure for now. Ah, I forgot this one. So we have some harvest. The gopher was kind enough to leave us some sweet potatoes. We're actually happy for that. And we seem to have a very friendly gopher over here. Doesn't eat everything. However, I feel what affected the sweet potatoes most was the person who came and stole the vines, because he actually pulled some of them from the ground, you could see, and he's actually the one who costed us all this. We'd have actually shared more harvest with the gopher, more than this. But yeah, that's life. We push on. And yeah, we're going to enjoy these sweet potatoes very much. We're going to make a snack out of them and also have them for breakfast instead of bread. And yeah, that's the beauty of farming at the end of the day, because you can't go to a farm, especially when you plant a variety of things. You can't go to the farm and not harvest anything. That's the beauty of it. You know, when you do this organic farming, please plant as many crops as possible because they mature at the different times. And so every time you go to the farm, you always come back with something. And today, our reward is sweet potatoes. And it's not a bad harvest. You're only a family of 4, and you have all these sweet potatoes. So they're going to last us a few days. So that's good. So that's it for today. We hope you've really enjoyed this video of our second part of the farm. And as I've said, when you have a farm like this, or you just have a farm, an organic farm, please plant as many things as possible, because variety is good. And variety actually blesses you every time you go to the farm. You'll always harvest, whether, like us, you see, we'll harvest fruits, passion fruit when you go to the farm, or onions, or kale, or whatever. So that's the beauty of it. So thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to share with your friends. Also comment on the comment section. Especially, we'd really like to hear about the cassava management. We really appreciate some advice on that. But yeah, and we also appreciate you as our viewers. Let's keep this family growing.